We are live early for this show. I'm so excited. We're finally early to a show. Oh my God. Because I do the live show, it's almost like okay to come a little late, but the goal is to come a little early every time and have a little bit of a talk, a little bit of a powwow with you, my viewer audience, before the show begins. There's always a conversation to be had. And today's conversation is so relevant. It's like so trending on X. This happens to us all the time because in this space, we are the podcast that is blessed by God the most. Hands down. It's unbelievable the access that we get and the people that come on the show. And it seems like every single time someone's trending, they either had a schedule with us or they randomly appeared on the show. And it has been so much fun. But this week we have Lucre coming to discuss everything related to his demonetization, which just took place over the weekend. Huge information coming down. And I'm curious about it. I can't wait to find out more information about X. And there's a lot going on X on the monetization front. And, it's going to be a very interesting conversation. So he's actually here and start early, but I'm excited to get going because, these subjects, for all influencers are very important, and I'll tell you, I see people that post some of their earnings and they'll post their viewership on their earnings, and I have way more impressions than they do, but I get paid a lot less. So X plays like such funny games. But Dom is one of the biggest influencers on the platform. I mean, like, literally, he's pulling like billions of views. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna ask him when he gets here. But I don't know. I would guess. I remember one time he posted years ago. He posted a piece, and he was like like when he broke 1 billion views, and he's like, "These are my views. We are not the same." And I was just like, "Whoa, that's a different league." And I'm in the hundreds of millions too. You know what I'm saying? And that's just on my feed. I get clipped all the time. I find 80 million views, all over the internet. There's all these like the Christ conspiracy ones that like I found. They all have millions of views, and the red heifer stuff is like 40 million views all over the place. But like I'm in the hundreds of millions of impressions every year. You know what I'm saying? And this guy's in the billions. He's a billy goat. I'm just a Jews are the goat. He's a billy goat. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna bring him on when he's ready. He's just squaring up in the cameras right
I'm
now,
ready.
and he's ready. So let's go into this conversation. It's very blessed for me, Dom, because we've been talking through DMs for a while now,
Mhm.
and having you on the show, like I've been trying to get you on the show, and it couldn't be a more opportune time to have you than like when
It's
you're
great. Yeah, it's
you're
the
like
first.
blowing up, dude. They're making memes about you left and right.
Yeah, it is. It is funny because this is it's the best time to do the interview because
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been as many eyes to pay attention to it. So I think this would be the best time, and it's
I'll tell
just the
you
first
what.
interview since.
Since I made the announcement, my viewership, I was pulling like millions of views on my
Hmm.
posts. I even delete some major posts from time to time. Like the biggest tweet I ever deleted was a 12.1 million view tweet. And I do
Oh
that
wow.
because it got community noted and I didn't
Yeah.
want to mess. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to lose millions of views just for the sake of, like, dropping weights on community notes. And, because this algorithm on X is the toughest algorithm on any social media, you
Yes.
know? And I
I would
get
agree.
influencers all the time from other social medias, and like you'll be in the line for something to get like a media badge, and they'll be like, all these people you don't even know who they are, and they're like, their Instagrams have like 10 million followers and stuff like that. And I show up, and anybody from X shows up. They're like, "You're X famous?" Like X
Yeah.
is the place where it's like damn near impossible to become famous. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So on
It
top
is. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
becoming, it's very hard. Like people tell me all the time, they make an account, they can't get it up, they can't move it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
So to
tough. It
build an
is very
account
tough.
to build an account to 1.6 million followers, I don't even know how many subscribers you have. My
Hmm.
mind is running. What is your annual impressions? That's what I want to know.
Well, I have to see. So this year, if I continue how I did, I would get about at least like 1.2 billion. I would say minimum every 2 months. So
1.2 every 2 months. Damn,
yeah,
you
for sure.
blew my expectations, man. I
Well,
said
every
you
two
were
months.
probably
So
at 5 billion.
yeah, so it's a few billions of it because like I finished one of them. I don't know if it's 2 billion or 3 billion. One of these years I did. But this year it would have been.
Crazy.
Well, it's going to be like the hottest year of me posting. I mean,
For
nothing
sure.
won't
They're
really.
making like the craziest memes of you. When the haters start making the ridiculous ones, you know you're super famous.
Well, memes don't actually bother me at all. I mean, I'll be honest, I can't really say any of it actually bothers me, but I would be lying to say if nothing surprised me. Just the manipulation of community notes. I've even seen it done to Loomer. Loomer's me. I've sounded dog whistle on community notes all the way back in 2024.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that it can be manipulated, and the problem is, it's not even at an ex executive level. The
Hmm.
problem is ex executives aren't stepping in
Yeah. Exactly.
because liberals, when it was announced that anyone can apply to be a community noter, liberals saw that, took advantage of it, start sending it in Telegram group chats, start sending it in Wets chats. They even started holding meetings, on
Yeah.
local grassroots levels to let them know this is something we can infiltrate and
It's always
cause a
the same
change.
people that volunteer for the polls.
Yes. And that's the problem with conservatives. They don't really get too active when we have these new systems that give us ability to fight back, that give us the ability to protect our own. That's why you see conservatives, they can get done any type of way on these systems because
Yeah.
liberals did the research and they did the groundwork. You are rewarded for doing the groundwork for your party. And unfortunately, a lot of conservatives don't really get digitally active as they might should. I mean, even with President Trump, I remember seeing one of President Trump's rallies. They booked all the seats. These TikTokers may go viral, book a seat because it was free, and they
Hmm.
was trying to mess it up to make it where people that wanted to go wouldn't be able to sit at the Trump rally, and that way it would appear that he's speaking to an empty stadium.
Hmm.
These are the games that these people play, and they're playing it much better than the conservatives at every angle, and they've been doing it damn near for a decade at this point to me.
Yeah, they have like bamboozled politics. They're always like scheming and plotting. And I was blown away that Eric Swallowswell resigned from Congress today too. Like
Mm,
that is like classic gerrymandering.
yeah.
Rigging elections. And I'm in California. I know you're in New York and Miami and all
Mm.
over the place. Dom Lucre is everywhere. But out here in California, I think it's like the most corrupt how they gerrymander and jerry rig elections. And I actually ran for Congress in 2014 against
Oh
Karen
wow,
Bass, who's the current
wow.
mayor of LA. And
Mm.
I was in South Beverly Hills, and then they gerrymandered our district, which
Oh,
was
wow.
33. Henry Waxman was retiring from Congress after 40 years in Beverly Hills, so they didn't want it to go conservative, and it was going to go conservative. So last
Hmm.
minute gerrymandering, they kicked the Jews out of Beverly Hills and put us into
Hmm.
Compton. And ever since I ran,
What?
yeah, I swear it was crazy. I spent every single day in Compton, like
What, dude? I
I
would have
hit
never known. What the heck? Hold on.
bro, I'm
People know
telling
what
you.
the hell. Wait, hold on, dude. I've stayed in LA for like 3 months. They put y'all in Compton.
They put us in
That's
Compton.
crazy,
Yeah.
dude. That's
And I
like the
spent
worst
every
place that they could
single
put
day of
you.
the campaign in Lemert Park, like
Wow,
just straight
that's the
up in
worst.
Compton, getting
Ah,
to know
that's
the city.
crazy, man. That's the
And
worst place.
nobody has scored higher than me since that 2014 as a Republican. And like every
Mm,
black Republican tried after me, and like
yeah.
some of them didn't even make it past the primaries, but like they were all because
Mm,
it's like a predominantly black district.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
very
Democrat. Yeah.
black and very Democrat district. It's like 91% Democrat or something like that.
Tribal people. Yes. Very
Yeah,
tribal. Very
super
tribal people.
tribal. It's Mark Ridley Thompson, and his son Sebastian Ridley Thompson, and they have like
Yeah.
this racket on LA politics. He sits on the board of supervisors now, and the board of supervisors of LA really calls the shots. They're like these mafioso types that like just kind of
Mm,
like rule Los Angeles. But they redistricted us at Willem, and I ran against her, and even to this day, I'm like, she fears me, the mayor of Los Angeles. And
mm,
like we've had to do a couple photo shoots together. And I actually showed up in an InfoWars hat to one of the photo shoots because
yeah.
I was like, oh, you want to use my face? Okay, it comes with territory. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But yeah, so they redistricted us into Compton. I spent like every day in Leimert Park. I got really
Mm,
close with Tony Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. I got really close
yes,
for a while. I was really close with Rizza Islam up until like the 2020 riots and stuff like that. And things got a little bit all
that's
weird.
crazy. They try to limit you and then allowed you to establish new connections
Yeah, actually,
by
the
doing that.
Trump administration was really supportive. Elon
Oh,
Carr was
nice.
the White House special envoy to combat anti-Semitism at the time,
Hmm.
and he was like, di- Tony Muhammad and I would meet up at least once a month for lunch for like a year, and just to be in person, establish a connection and a relationship. And there were some dialogues between him, a lot of dialogues. I would tell him stuff, and he would relate it to Farrakhan, and Farrakhan would relate stuff to me through Tony Muhammad and whatnot. I was like one of the only Jews I think alive that ever had any sort of communication or go between or whatever. And I really liked Tony Muhammad. He's like a very interesting guy. He made an unbelievable film too. You know who he is, right?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
He's like the guy who took over after Farrakhan. Like, he's
Yeah,
like the main guy of the Nation of Islam now. But yeah, it was. I don't know how I got on this subject, but
that's interesting. You know, it makes you question.
gerrymandering threw me in that race.
It makes me question about a lot of things with real life. Even like with these comments, I see even people I meet in real life that have been trolling me on the internet. If I go out in Brooklyn, Miami, or something, and I go to Moxie's, if they see me, every time I see someone in person, I'll be like, "Hey, what's your at?" I'll follow you. I believe if you meet them in person, you've broke the barrier. I'll go ahead and follow you just for the fact that I got to meet you. I like to remember people that I got to meet, real life connection. And dude, I mean, I'll just go out and follow someone and then find out they were talking shit about me. And some people they get offended by that, but to me, I think that's really a lesson to be learned there. That the internet is separate from reality. And I'm saying that to say this: it's interesting for you to say that you were able to develop a relationship with this prominent Muslim, but in the realm of the internet, that just can't be possible.
Mm.
In the current realm of the internet, that doesn't compute. Like that can't be a
Well, I
reality.
think Hassan Shibli and I became friends, and I think he's
Mm,
like the most important Muslim in America. To be honest with you, he's the
that's crazy.
smartest Muslim in America. That's for sure. He's like the smartest, hands down. You know who he is, right?
Mm, yeah, I've heard the name.
You've
I've
seen
heard
him.
the name, but I don't
He's
know.
like this lawyer. He's like, it was a wild thing. He's like really close with Ilhan Omar, and like he's the guy who took Dan Bilzerian all over the place. And Dan Bilzerian's like a secret Muslim or whatever.
Mm,
Whoever hates the Jews the most or something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, he's the guy who's taking Dan Bilzerian around. And I became friends with him. We broke narratives there. I,
Mm.
I, I got to give you some major credit, dude. You are one of the most creative people I think I've seen. When you
Thank
changed
you,
it
brother.
from breaker of narratives to stealer of narratives, it was like such an in your face. It was such art. You know what I'm saying? It was just like,
Thank you.
I was
Thank
like,
you.
damn, this guy is so on point. It was like, who
Yeah,
cares? I
it's
thought,
it's a narrative against me. One of my great close friends, Unlimited L's. This is not a hit, Unlimited L's. Love to do to death. Anything you need, connects for it. He knows it. I mean, dude has all my personal info. But Unlimited L's has been able to watermark his stuff. And media companies do this, like I said, for when the average American or average citizen across the world, they see it, they could say, my stuff has been posted in the media or posted by a creator. It's been done far before me. It's the reason why Fox News will grab an Instagram reel and put Fox News tag on the top left.
exactly.
This is something I learned becoming a journalist. This is something that I innovated and I created.
Yeah.
But to get the narrative that it's stolen and that the watermark is somehow they're demonizing me for for the watermark. There are prominent accounts that have existed decades before me that has been doing this. This is the formula. So it's almost like a coal miner, right? And you're telling this coal miner that he can't use the pickaxe to mine, although that everyone else is using it.
Yeah.
They'll say, you got to use your damn hands. Find a way to get these diamonds out this damn rock with your hands. I don't care that everyone else has a pickaxe. I don't care if everyone else can keep the axe. You have to use your hands. It just doesn't make sense whatsoever for the miner because he's looking at everyone else. Is like, well, shit, I got the axe because everyone else got it. Who you think I learned to grab it from?
Yeah.
It's hypocrisy. And I didn't even attribute it to envy until recently. At first, I'm like, I don't know exactly what it is. But damn, maybe it is just envy. Like I see so many people say, I can't stand seeing his profile. Twitter forcing them to me. It's obvious. It's evident. Nikita Beer, he's not a fan of me. How the hell are they forcing me on you if the very top and Elon Musk even retweeted the post that weren't quite fond of me? So with that being said, there's no way this platform is forcing me on you if some of the higher ups in the platform don't really like me that much. Oh,
No, and the truth is I got like suppressed majorly since I announced you. And we were planning it for like months, and
yeah,
nobody's gonna see the DMs except the secret people and the algorithms at X. But I've been
yeah, for
trying to
sure.
get you on my show for a while now, and it's like ever since I announced you, they're like, "Oh shit," because it's so organic and rare. It's like a weird place to end up. I'm
It's
talking
random.
to you like the day after. You know what I'm saying? To talk about it. It's like one of those organic moments that are like culturally viral and native itself. But X has suppressed me. I haven't been able to get a post off 1,000 views, man. And
Dang,
I'm
that's
like,
crazy.
and I'm just like, and I'm used to
Well, I'll push
generating
it out
millions
there.
of views. You know what I'm saying?
After this, I'll push it out there. I'll get it out there, and then I'll
I
push it out there.
appreciate it.
Make sure to
They
get them
always do.
views
They
for
do
sure.
this to me all the time. Whenever I
Mm.
have like one of these super hot debates, someone mega, they're very afraid of me because
There's a way that
I
you can break through that. I can show you. I have to
exactly.
talk to you on the back chain. There's a way that you can break through that and start
I
like
appreciate
averaging
it.
more impressions for your
Yeah,
announcements because
I'm always
mhm,
down to learn because X is by far the most.
it's it's the link. So it's the Rumble link. I'll go ahead and at least say this bit here. When you're pushing this and they knowing it's being pushed on Rumble, now if you had announced only exclusively on X, your
Uh-huh.
numbers will skyrocket. But when you announce that, and let it know that it's going primarily to Rumble,
Yeah,
the X say it doesn't boost the link, but just from what I'm seeing myself, it just doesn't do that well. Or even the content after because it knows that. I mean, at the end of the day, X is a business. They would feel like they wouldn't profit much from it if
yeah.
they push this because it seriously just pushes it to the competition.
Yeah, and the demonetization thing, I love Gary the numbers guy, man. Max
Mm.
Prime,
Yeah.
GG33. Dude, he's so funny sometimes. I got to admit, I'm watching he makes me laugh so hard sometimes. And he's going on your numbers, but he's also clowning. He gave a post where he was like really talking about the earnings of different
Mhm.
platforms. And
Yeah.
X really is like the cheapest platform. They pay the content. It's the hardest to
Mhm.
become famous on X, and they pay the least. Oh, we lost our guest, but I'm sure he'll pop back up in a second. And that's the truth because X is so hard to break through on, and they pay the least. So, like I said, I see people all the time who come through and they don't have nearly the same amount of views that I get on posts, and they get a lot more money. But Gary, the numbers guy, he was going through.
Wow. You good?
He's back. So Gary, the numbers
Yeah,
guy.
man. That's someone on. Dang, that's crazy. So someone on X called me and it
Dude,
cut this. I had to.
X
Yeah.
is
All right.
running interference, dude. I wasn't even gonna say that conspiracy,
There
but
we
they
go.
did.
My
They just
bad.
straight up ran interference on us. X called the podcast to say,
So
"No, you're
okay, we're
talking
good.
too
We're good to
much."
go. Yeah, we're good to go.
So I was just talking about how Gary broke this, and he was just talking about how, you know, X, YouTube pays this,
Mhm.
Meta pays this, TikTok pays this, and X pays like a fourth of every other platform, if not below. You know,
Yeah.
I I always get my monetization. My monetization is so low compared to other people who
Mhm.
have the same amount of views as me. But
I can explain that too. So with those people, what you would need to do is you would have to get access to their verified followers and see if they have more than you. So people are confused. How did I make so much money um, with the views I have? I mean, for one, 600 million impressions, they pay a lot. But believe it or not, someone can make more than me if they had the same impressions. I have like 174K verified followers. X pays you for like the verified followers and the on page impressions from verified viewers. So the more verified followers, the more you're going to typically garnish. So if someone has more verified followers, even it doesn't mean that they're real or not. If it's just that they got the blue check, you'll get paid for them specifically. So you can get 1 million views and 20,000 of those views of verified followers, you'll pretty much get paid for those 20,000 views. So that's where you'll start seeing some
so you're roughly at
desperation.
like 13%, right? Verified
Mhm.
followers.
Yeah, and it's not many. It's
That's where I'm at too. I think I have
yeah.
actually I'm higher than that. I'll tell you right now how many verified followers I have. I have hold on. I also think the algorithm is just playing like social engineering tricks on everybody. Like I'm like absolutely convinced on that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know if it could handle too many people being that viral because then it would be kind of impossible. I think to pay everyone is another thing too. Is when I start to wonder.
okay, 12.1 divided by 65.9. Yeah, I'm 18%.
18. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
18% verified followers.
It's I don't know. It's so hard, man. Normally on other apps you can guarantee exactly what the issue is on stuff, but with X it's just it's almost not really a case by case basis, but sometimes it's on borderline of
I
being
just
a
think that there is like a serious social engineering component to X that
Mhm.
involves Elon Musk. It also involves Prince Talal, who's his main financial partner, and like all sorts of CIA games, I'm sure, and like weird
CIA
stuff.
for sure. Yeah.
As X is like the weirdest, most trippy space. It's like before X, when it was Jack Dorsey's X, I feel like Infowars was like the most mainstream of the dark web in the
Mm,
world, and now X
mhm.
is the most mainstream of the dark web. Now that
Yeah.
Elon bought it and Infowars like pretty much got absorbed by X, Alex Jones pretty much, you know, became like an X star more than a
Yes.
banned video star at that point. So
Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. I have to agree. It gives people that's looking for the alternative content or
because
alternative
I'm a
opinion.
band video host, and we were getting the craziest numbers before X, before the X incident when Elon bought it.
Mhm.
He was pulling like 20 million views a day on his own site.
Mm,
That was even before he did the Kanye West thing. When Kanye
yeah.
came, that was the largest live streamed event in internet history at 70 million views. 70 million live people tuned in. It was
Yeah, man.
crazy. But
Mm,
um, but then X took over, and X is now like the mainstream of the dark web, and that's why it's so hard for these normies in the mainstream because they're all like socially conditioned and pre-programmed and vaccinated and everything. That's why it's so hard for them to get on X because X is like that scary place they were told not to go to.
yeah, it definitely is. It's crazy. They've done very good with creating a narrative to, I guess I could say, the establishments
Mm-hmm.
across the world, even like these celebrities, of viewing X as some boogeyman that you shouldn't go touch. It's almost like if you go to X, you'll get like they got a narrative going around, for liberals that if you go to X, you'll be facing propaganda. You won't see the truth. You'll be manipulated. When regardless of all of my grievances with X, it's the closest place you're gonna get the truth. I mean, shit. If people look at the slop on TikTok and Instagram and on Facebook, there's a reason why people come to X to see what journalists and creators got to say about the slop on other apps and find the content that's genuinely interesting. Because if you actually go through an Instagram reel and you compare that to X, it's a night and day difference. It's more intelligent on X and it's more of a basis of what's going on in the world, of what's truly viral. Because X serves as a unique purpose that X is a great validator. If something was posted on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, or TikTok, and then it appears on X, it is now deemed viral. I mean, many celebrities I mean in person, whenever they say I'm going viral or I'm getting cooked or any of these things that they reference about having relevancy on the internet, it will always lead back to X. If you look through what they're showing you, it'll be like, okay, let me see what you're talking about, bro. It'll be tweets. And they'll say I'm trending. It'll be the trending topic on X. So X is the basis of reality in terms of what's viral and what's
Yeah,
not.
I agree with
And I
you.
don't really understand the new updates that's telling people to prioritize video content. Like you can do that. And I post one video. I was doing like one video a day on X, one original video.
Mm-hmm.
People ignore that, disregard that. That's fine. But you cannot prioritize video content if video creators get their validation from their content being posted on X.
Right. I actually part of my journey to I don't even like calling it fame because like I've always practiced running from fame and it caught up
Mhm.
with me. Like I just couldn't shut up. I had to like keep I'm an activist. I see something I
Yeah.
don't like in the world and I have to speak out against it. I'm just incapable of like accepting a reality I don't want to live in. And that's really the
Yeah.
force that drives me, and it's quite spiritual, but that's the force that
Mhm.
drives me to do this. But it's just there's so much content that I create, and I actually went to banned video because I was deplatformed from everything, including Twitter. I was
Mm,
like really like just eliminated from that liberal world.
mm,
I'm allowed to have a on Meta. I'm allowed to have a and this is a good segue to get into something I wanted to ask you about. But I'm allowed to have a an account on Instagram for my show, but they took away all my personal accounts, even just the one where I posted pictures of my family to my family. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm. No.
Instagram like had like it had it out to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And I've been fucked with by a lot of corporations in the larger conglomerate system of control that like exhibit their influence to make life more difficult for conservatives, leading all the way up to the IRS with Lewis Lerner and all that shit that went down. But
Yeah.
I lost my Instagram and then I lost my YouTube. Oh, they said that I posted. I had like this world famous rabbi on. I mean, he's so orthodox. It's like super religious world. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And they said I posted nudity in that episode. It's called
Hmm.
the Kabbalah of Ukraine, I think it was. It was like episode 20 something. It was super early on in the Adam King show. And they said I posted nudity, so they removed me from YouTube. And I wasn't allowed back on YouTube until Candace Owens started accusing me of killing Charlie Kirk. And I
Mm,
was trying to get on. I petitioned and tried to get back on when I had Tyson Hawkley come on the show. And I wanted, I was like, please let me get back on YouTube. They didn't let me back on YouTube. I tried to stream it there anyway. I was blocked on my stream with Tyson Hawkley. The next
hmm.
episode, I didn't try to. I didn't go. It was like several months went by before I even tried again. And I started talking about
Yeah.
how Candace, she will like accused me
Oh.
4 times of killing Charlie
Mm,
Kirk on her show. And here I'm not allowed to even go on their platform to defend myself. And I was saying that, and then the next thing you know, all my privileges are given back to me on YouTube, and I get my YouTube back. And the funny thing with YouTube is the first episode I had this one guy on who's like a traveler, and I went through the roof. And then the next day I had Dinesh D'Souza, and like I only had 18 views. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Like
man, that's
they
crazy.
were like
Impossible.
playing with me so hard. But I wanted to segue that into the Candace stuff because I really attribute getting my YouTube back. I only have been able to get on X. I'm not allowed on all the other
Yeah.
platforms, even today. I'm hoping that with Larry Ellison buying TikTok, I'll be back on the TikTok. I never even tried to have a TikTok account. The moment I tried to log into TikTok, I was kicked off TikTok. I
What the
wasn't
hell?
even allowed on TikTok when it was like a new thing. They had me
Mm,
earmarked long before, even since I ran for Congress. I think running for Congress was the final nail in the coffin. I was
yeah.
also a diplomat in Africa. I did like a lot of stuff
So
that was out there, you know.
what I don't get is in this world, I have a very unique position. I can see narratives. I'm able to see patterns, recognition, see where the pendulum swings and how it got there for the most part.
Yeah.
And those stories like that, in my opinion, should be highlighted. Um, it should, because one of the main narratives that's out is that you get demonetized, anything is going to always be the Jews, and
Hmm.
they're going to leave us to starve, die, be broke, all these things while they can
Exactly.
feast on it themselves. Whereas a Jew here that's being hit by the same systems as a creator, as
Yeah.
other regular creators do. There's no hidden red phone that you call to get unbanned on these platforms. It's genuinely happening through an organic way, just as all men. Like, I think those type of stories in a way should kind of be highlighted, because I've never even heard of stuff like that. You don't even hear of
I've
Jewish people
tried
taking
to.
arrows.
I've tried. I actually the one that affected me the most. I ran into this when I got divorced because I guess the Match Group, which is this like it's match.com. They own like every dating app. So after I got divorced,
Yeah,
I wanted to get back out there and meet new
yeah.
women and stuff like that. And I had a ban from the entire Match Group platform.
So what the hell? They don't even want you to find love.
They own Hinge, but the thing is, they own Hinge, they own all these dating apps, but they
Yeah.
own the Jewish dating apps. They own J Swipe, they own all the Jewish dating apps. You know what I'm saying? They own Christian
Mm.
Mingle, Black Meet. I can't get on any of those. Not
Oh
like I'm
wow.
gonna go on Black Meet anyway, but I have like a
Yeah.
universal ban from the.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have like a
So, they don't give
universal
you the
ban.
ability.
Like the censorship is so extreme, and people don't know how deep the collusion is between all these mega
Mhm.
conglomerate corporations that play into these political systems.
Yes. Yes. It really is. And the main basis, I mean, basis behind a lot of our problems is the fact a lot of people are saying it's us versus them,
Mm,
but I think the main issue of us living in this age of confusion, not enough people know how many us there are. They'll
yeah,
see people like you or me and say, well, no, they're not like us. Dude, they're
yeah,
freaking targeting us too. It does not matter.
yeah,
We are still individuals. They're at the whim of major conglomerate systems, just as the people that would consider everyone else as us.
hmm,
We're no different than you. We're human beings that's at the mercy of our employer, at the mercy of our advertiser, at the mercy of whoever pays us. We're no one,
exactly.
we're all us. And I think a lot of the division and confusion comes from not too many people knowing how to identify who is also us because they
Yeah,
identify way too many people as them,
hmm,
not understanding that person's not in control. That
yeah,
person
exactly,
does not control the system.
exactly. They're just an agent of the matrix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just carrying out orders like soldiers. And some of them are so conditioned they don't even know that they're a part of the system. They think they're free.
yeah, that's it. That's the greatest slave. The greatest slave would always think they're free because if you think life in reality itself is having chains on, having bondage, being told when to come in and out the house, if you think that's reality itself, you'll never look for a reality outside of that. A slave that thinks he's free is never going to fight for freedom because he lives in it. He lives in a false reality. We
Exactly.
live with a lot of mental slaves here. What you said, you hit the nail on the head. We live around a lot of people that truly think they're free, and they might be the most broken or might be the one that's most institutionalized in so many ways. And that's what makes them very useful because they think.
Yeah, and even on X, there is that too. It's like that element of social conditioning. And people on X who live on X like to think that like X is immune, and because you could say anything you want about the Jews, it's like the place where like you're the most free, but really there's like this unbelievable social conditioning that's taking place on X. And like
Mhm.
I always say like sometimes it's hard to have like organic like content. Like I grow my account, it grows slowly. It grows at times when I interact with people, you know, with Candace, with Thomas
Mhm.
Massey, with Marjorie Taylor Greene, with any of those fights that I had, it would just amplify, amplify, amplify.
Yeah.
And then the viewers and then everyone would talk about me. I mean, like who hasn't heard of Awesome Jew on X? It doesn't
Yes.
reflect the view, it doesn't reflect the follower count, you know?
Mhm.
But that 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 nature of the community of X, it really is like just a completely controlled environment. You know, they're making so many influences beyond their back. I think I get used when they want me, when they need to use me. They know that my account is so
Yeah.
galvanizing that they'll throw me in when they need to boost
Mhm.
Thomas Massey or whatever.
Yeah.
And some of these people can't even stand on their own. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene walked out of Congress. Like, what an embarrassment. Like, how, Dom, if you ever won a congressional seat, whether you ever ran or not, would
No,
you
yeah, yeah.
ever quit, or would you be like so honored that you're a congressman that you carry it out to
Yeah.
the end of the term?
You
Like,
got to do it to the end because that's what you owe them. That's what you owe them. Because so they could have had someone else that would carry it out to the end. That's what
yeah.
you owe the
So
people.
who is she then at that rate? You know what I'm saying? Who does she really work for, and why is she on our? Why is she posing to be on our side?
Sad to see what she became.
She's
It's
gone.
sad. I don't know. I feel like a lot of that stems from her not being too pleased about what happened with Kevin McCarthy. I think she wanted a different out with that,
She
a
wanted to
turnaround.
what? Not be a mistress? What was that?
Yeah, yeah. She wanted her
She
man to be up top. Literally.
she wanted to hit it from the front.
That's what it was. Yeah, she wanted him from the very top. So I think
She's
that's where I
like,
really
kiss
started
me
seeing a lot
this
of
time,
issues.
Kevin. Kiss me. You know, I just want to
Yes,
be kissed.
that's where I started seeing the issues with
She's
her,
like,
man.
no,
I'm,
bitch,
they were
you
good
work
for
for me.
this.
That's funny.
That's where it started for sure, man.
That's funny. Yo, so I want to know about your monetization because you were like the biggest account, man. Like at that level, what do they like? How much did they take from you? Like I'm playing numbers in my head, and I'm
Let's
like,
see.
this dude must have
Like
been making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month.
that check probably would have been like 34,000. So I don't know. It was going to be around the 30s.
So
That
thirty
one because
thousand a month. You're pulling in like this one or like in general. Like are they
this one would have been like over 60. It
this
should have
was
been
over
around
60?
60.
Because those numbers on like YouTube or Instagram or any of these other places would be like a $500,000 check.
Yes, they're huge. They're huge. I mean, 600 million impressions. Shh, you're set.
And
I
that's why
mean,
YouTube is so sketch because they're giving it to Candace over and
mhm.
over. And that's why I brought it up, because I've been watching you from the beginning, man. Like when you were like on that stupid thing with Stu Peters about like all that. I remember that when you did the Stu Peters thing and whatnot, and you've been around the whole block. You've had like such an evolution of thought.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I respect you as a journalist, actually, is because you're one of these people that are not immobile. You change when you discover something new that influences you in any which way, and you'll be like immersed in this world that requires an echo chamber, and you'll be like, nah, it's actually not like that, it's like this,
Yeah.
and
That's
I
great.
and
Yeah, I was.
you were like that a lot with Israel, with Palestine, with and specifically with Candace. And I wanted to ask you about your because I remember at watching Charlie Kirk's funeral, like the aerial shot, you could see Dom Lucre right there with his hair, like like at Charlie Kirk's funeral, you were like right there, front and center,
Yeah.
and the Candace stuff really hit you hard. I wanted to know, like, really, if
So
you could comment on that and tell
if
me
you
about it.
notice with Nikita, he responded to two people. One creator that, like I said many times, has a known history of disliking me, which I'm not sad that she disliked me. You're not supposed to like me. I can't force you to do so.
Who
But
is
it's
that?
odd. Like you have, I can't really say her name. I think it's like Angelina, the liberal. She's the blonde. She used to be like this liberal
Yeah.
that trolls liberals. Something. But Nikita responded to her post, and Candace commented under it and said that it was a good update. That he was like, "Thanks, Candace." And that's just so odd because like if I'm supposed to be all these bad things, she is genuinely going back and forth with the president of the United States, going back and forth with Erica Kirk, which the owner of X told Erica Kirk he could do it if she needed anything, he would, take care of her. He reached out to her during her grievances of what unfortunately happened to Charlie Kirk. I just found that so odd to have the head of product to go and thank the woman that is slandering Charlie Kirk's wife.
Right.
I really don't understand that. And Candace Owens, it's just disingenuous, bro. It's just disingenuous. She's really good at manipulating her audiences. She knows where the pendulum is swinging, and she knows how to withhold information to make people appear as if they're stupid. So she'll lead people in, be very vague, and then people will, criticize her for being vague. I know this is one of her strategies. She'll say more details will come, or she'll allude to something, won't give you the full details, just to try to generate enough backlash of people claiming she doesn't have anything, there's nothing left. Sit on the details to try to do a eureka moment. It's very cheap and it's very disgusting to do a eureka moment and say, "I thought you said I didn't have anything." Well, of course, people are going to say you don't have anything if you are being vague for 2, 3 months
Right.
and you're intentionally withholding information. So
Right.
I just
She
know the way that she
carried the
manipulates.
story out
Mhm.
for a long time, and her Goonie Mafia squad, they like run with it, and like
Yeah.
that was what I felt was such a smoking gun with her with with my story, because she was all bent up about. She used to talk about my account nonstop
Yes, yes,
prior to Charlie Kirk. Like she was like on Pierce Morgan fuming, oh, awesome Jew,
yes,
Jews are the goat, like so angry, like real anger, like as if Jews are not allowed to be proud creatures or anything like that.
yeah. She
So
was
like,
pissed.
but when she accused me of killing Charlie Kirk, the last time she did it was like, I want to say like December, January, something like that. So it went on for like 3 months, 4 months.
Mm,
And the DMs I would get were so brutal. And when I mean
mm,
brutal, I mean like goon squads of like
yeah.
radicalized people where I actually have to call the police. And I did call the
Oh wow,
police. And the police had to be involved in one of them. And that's what it's like.
that's unfortunate.
That's like when she's always like, dot, 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 more to
Mhm.
come. She's like
Yes,
dragging
yes,
on. It's almost like egging on, like, take the law into your own hands, renegade.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that is where she's like truly like breaking the law,
And
because
she's really good.
it's
Oh,
inciting
see,
a
she's
mob.
good at it. Yeah, she's good. She's good at it, and she's good at being able to do it to a point to where she could say, "I did nothing wrong at all." I mean, she's far from. She's not as smart as she might think she is in terms of her content, but in terms of audience recognition and pattern recognition, she's definitely one of the best because she knows before she puts out a piece of content how the world's going to react. Anyone that hates on her when she posts that content, she was expecting for them to talk shit about her. I'm sure, and the people that supported her, she was expecting for that same support. I don't think too much of anything really surprises her, but I think that's a trait of narcissism in
But
itself. I
also, she's
mean,
being
I've been
boosted by
around.
the system too, And that's the big
Yeah.
question I have is why does she hit number one on YouTube? That's like such a liberal platform. Like I wasn't
Hmm.
even allowed a YouTube channel. Like here on X, we like forget about the days of like being completely taken off of social media. Not only that, like you said, I think you hit it on the head. Elon Musk was at Charlie Kirk's funeral. Like that was such a pearl clutch moment for every influencer. Megyn
Hmm.
Kelly, Tucker Carlson stands up there. He's like, "These Jewish hummus eaters killed your God Jesus." You know, like
Yeah.
it was like such a crazy thing. All this is going down right in front of Erica Kirk, and none of them bothered to step in. They all assist her in becoming like the biggest thing on the platform. Like X
Yep.
promotes her. She never gets this. Just by announcing you on this show, I was put into a shadow ban. I'm getting like five. When I hit you up, I was like, yo, this post has been pinned to my account for all day. It
Yeah.
has 516 views or something like that.
It's insane,
That's
man.
insane that they would come after us for doing this podcast. They don't want it to be amplified, but they're not going to do that to Candace. They're not going to do that to Tucker. They're not going to do that to any of them. They're going to be front row, live and center. And that, I don't want to squarely blame Elon Musk, but you know, the corporate entity of X and all of its employees are certainly responsible for creating that environment.
Yeah, it definitely has. And I do believe in like I always will believe in freedom of speech, but I've even said myself, like you said, in 2024, I was an entirely different creator. I had a different, not really a different view on life. No, not my view of life was different, but I could say of who to really blame
Mm-hmm.
certainly changed a ton
Mm-hmm.
over time as I keep
Oh yeah, with
existing.
you for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you just really start to notice the trends of there's these people they try to put creators in this Christ-like complex that you're the chosen one. You're going to save America. America is fucked up because of this problem, and you're God's chosen to be able to help create a solution. Now they won't say that verbatim, but they will. It'll be this grandiose amount of support that you'll never have had before. Absolute passionate people because they want you to represent something that they know would destroy them entirely. They'll start feeding you stuff, start giving you false positives, start having you play into cognitive different dissonance, and then it's confirmation bias from then on forward. Because no matter what anyone says through the backlash, you'll say, "I'm saving the world." This backlash is just verification. That's the devil coming at me.
A
And then
hundred
you get into
percent.
that illusion that all backlash is the devil. And you have these people around you saying that's the devil. Ignore these demons. It, it's it's something that I would damn near write a book on because I have a very unique perspective because I've seen so many sides. But it's the audience. The people simply just want entertainment. They know it's more entertaining to be radical. It's more entertaining to say the things that people don't say, and it's more entertaining to hear things you haven't heard. Most of the
Exactly.
time, it's nothing more than that. They'll give this false reality to a creator that's changing absolutely nothing, but making it harder for themselves and putting other people at danger, quite frankly, just because there's people at home that might not even be that religious trying to convince you you're their savior. Man, when they log off, they're not going to think about you. When you have grievances, they won't be able to donate. They won't be there to support you. If anything, they're probably going to laugh at you. They're going to say, why didn't you put yourself first throughout the process?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it is just fake. A lot of the people that are against Jews, and I'm not going to say they're manipulated. I mean, I'm not going to gaslight. The main reason why we see so much backlash is because people were told they couldn't say things about something, which in turn, the pendulum swings, make people want to talk more. The problem is now, okay, you've given people the ability to talk. How did it turn radical? Why couldn't it stay cordial? Because that's always been my thing. Regardless if I dislike people or anything about them, keep it cordial,
Because
keep it
it was
respectful.
always a plan. It was a part of a
Yeah.
larger plan to implement on the social medias about how to become aggressive towards Jews and
Yes.
create civil unrest around Jews. I always say there's two things in America that will bring people out into the streets.
Hmm.
One is if the cops kill a black guy, and
Hmm.
two is if something goes down Israel Palestine.
For sure.
The
It's
only
been that
two
way.
things that people care about to like go in the streets and start wrecking shit.
I agree completely. I agree 1,000%. Yeah.
And they get used, and that's where the whole like, you know, what do they
Because
call
man,
it?
the thing is, you start to feel bad. Like especially you get prominence. I mean, I've experienced myself. I've got reached out. People like to say, "Oh, the Jews will reach out to you and start pushing propaganda." Well, what about the people that's telling you that you're trying to save the world, I reach out to you to push out propaganda. No one
Yeah,
really mentions that. And I'm not
exactly.
to call people out or nothing. I'm not here to call anyone out or try to target anyone. But it's just it. The truth is the truth, man. The truth
Like
is
the
the
March
truth.
Twins, we don't want to call anybody.
It's
I'm
just
kidding. I'm
like you
joking. I'm
can
joking.
people can
They're
get
so low
shifted,
level. They're low
and
level
it's
in the
like
system.
you can get shifted and targeted, and then you can think that you're fighting for a good cause. And I mean, I'm not here to say anyone's cause is right or wrong, but I'm simply just saying that a lot of people they double triple down is because of the absolute love and support that they think they're receiving. And
Yeah,
soon, listen,
exactly.
I'll tell you right here on X, they always get it wrong about me. I was once considered an anti-Semite. Never in my life been anti-Semite. Let me explain. Never, never. The same way now they calling me a thief. I'm as much as a thief as I'm an anti-Semite. And somehow they create these weird narratives about me and and try to create these false perceptions is completely wrong. The
Hmm.
issue was there were Jewish people came out the tunnel in New York, not tunnel, like under the synagogue in New York. I said I was going to investigate it. Ex Elon Musk assumed that it was going to be an anti-Semitic rant. This post is still on
Well,
YouTube,
because
and
you
it was
went to
posted.
Stu Peters, you know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah,
like, because you just got
they,
guilty by association. Because that dude is goose stepping on meth to the end of time.
yeah, 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 exactly. And that's the thing, guilt by association, right?
Uh,
And I can be mature enough to say, from Elon Musk's perception, it looks like I was about to try to slander them, make it something that it wasn't, and that would mean X would be monetizing slander on Jews. Now he did act prematurely and didn't even rectify the issue till a year later. That's not cool. Because if you made a mistake, you made a mistake. But what I'm announcing is the simple fact I went to the 770 Shabbat. I went in there. I got to meet the
I
people. I
remember
got to
that.
speak to
I
them.
remember you
I got to
walk right
talk
up
to
in
them.
there.
Yeah, and I got to talk and see what it really was, and it's no trafficking,
What was
etc.
your
Right?
experience? I don't know if anybody even asked you about that. I
No
would
one,
love to
but
hear.
they did. But this is the thing: you're not gonna believe it. So I wasn't too fondly of Jewish people, like the Jewish establishments. I was with the people saying Jewish control, America would be better without Israel support and all those things, right? And people would think, where did he shift? Oh, the Jews got him. The Jews bought him. No, 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 no. To this day, on my mother's grave, Teresa McGee grave, no Jewish person has ever reached out to me and told me to stop posting something, to change up my narrative. Nothing. Never in my life. But what it was my own supporters. They'll never
Yeah, they
understand to
don't
create their own
realize that
enemies.
like you charge $9,000 a tweet, and we're only offering
You-
$7,000 a tweet.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
And
just.
but at the time, look, my own supporters, bro. I say, look, the Jews, they did not traffic children in tunnels. These tunnels, these people, they were hired by immigrants. These immigrants, they worked long hours in the tunnels. I said there was the reason why you saw the mattress. I said there were people that were sleeping there. They were doing long shifts. These people were just sleeping there, getting the job done. They were paid well for it. I said, this is work be done. No human trafficking, no nothing. There was some, a dispute
Yeah,
between some Israelis out of Israel and the people that were actually in attendance with the Shabbat.
yeah,
They were honoring someone that they didn't want to honor with a lot of the officials there, and the Israelis did things their own way. I said, this is a problem with the youth, having conflict with the old.
yeah. They
It
built
might not be
false
understandable for
programs.
most, but it's not the human trafficking. Oh, they control it.
Yeah,
And bro, the way that they turned on me, the way that they turned on me when I told them the truth is when I realized, and I'm telling you, this was the turning moment when I realized it's not about the truth anymore, dog.
mm,
They told me I should lose everything. I should die. My dog should get poisoned. They told me my dad should die. My sister should die. All these things. You're taking up for the Jews. You're hiding for the Jews. Kids will be trafficked in the tunnel. You
it's
done
just
nothing to
so
protect them. I'm
crazy. I
like, oh
got
my
this
God.
guy in my DMs now doing it to me. It's just so crazy, bro. It's
Because,
so
and I gave them
crazy.
the truth. That's the God honest truth. And I said, dude, if I had slandered these Jewish people and said it was something it wasn't, I would be a hero right now. And I am a villain for telling the truth. There's nothing I could ever do to tell these people, bro, was even to this day, people like, why you ain't tell the truth about the Jewish tunnels? I did. You don't accept it.
Exactly.
And I had to see that to understand that, bro, the truth is subjective. And even if
Wow.
the truth is objective, people don't have to accept it. They don't
People
have
don't
to.
want
So
it
you're
to
fighting for individuals
because they're
that
emotionally connected to an outcome.
they're not looking for the truth. They're looking for an entertaining outcome.
Mhm.
That's the goal. An entertaining outcome. If me saying the Jews didn't traffic children, that's not entertaining. I mean, that's boring. People don't want to hear about the religious association of it. They don't want to hear about the rabbi. They don't want to hear about none of that. They don't want to hear about none of that. That's all boring. They're like, where are the kids? There are no kids. Turning this off. Like that's what it's about. It's not entertaining content. The real world isn't that entertaining.
That debate, that that tunnel story came out like the day before my first debate with Nick Fuentes,
Mm.
and like it became like this five on. Even Zerko like showed up out of nowhere to try to get in, and he was like, it was just so crazy. They were all talking about the whole thing was the tunnels. It was like nonstop tunnels, tunnels, tunnels. It was almost like you couldn't even like present any other set of facts. The only thing that mattered was they found
Yeah,
something to manipulate their
that was
audience
it.
with, and they're gonna repeat on lie over and over
Mhm.
again, even if you submit any evidence
Yeah,
that says it's otherwise.
I mean, like I said, 2023, I blew up. The tunnel thing came out the beginning of 2024. So throughout 2023, I was known as the breaker of narratives, person that see a narrative, break it. Boom, I hit the tunnels. I said, this is a narrative. I broke it. It ain't what you think. For the first time in my career, I couldn't be me. No, you can't break this narrative. Oh, they done paid you off. I was like, what the?
Hmm. Have you ever been to Israel?
No, I haven't.
Do you want
I
to
haven't
go?
been. I mean, I would if things die down. It seems like it's kind of hot out there right now.
as
If it
soon as
dies
they
down,
as
yeah, I
soon as
like to
they die
explore.
down, I'll take you to Israel. That would be dope.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
introduce
willing.
you
I
to
want to
tons of
see
people.
Israel.
You know what I'm saying? They'll be
I want to
like
see Israel in Egypt
good
and
thing
all
they
those places.
already accused you of being on the Israel sling like a year or 2 years ago. Because now when you go to Israel, it's be like, yo, I've been on this. You know what I'm saying? What are you
And
talking about?
it's sad because they feel like there's some type of
Mm,
initiation on Israel. Like, bro, I like I said, I've seen both sides, and it's just the amount of delusion.
yeah.
I had to see it. I'm someone that can see it. I had to see it. I had to see it. I was
Israel's
like, brother,
really dope too. Like, you'll never find another country in the world like Israel. As it relates to America. They are like, they are so. And I, as a Jew, I'm just like, yo, be more Jewish. You know, like, what are you doing? But they like Israelis emulate every
mm,
aspect of American culture. You know how
mm,
like there's lowrider gangs in Japan and stuff like that.
yeah,
Like Israel is like the same way. They love any ass. They like attach themselves to any type of American cultural trend. And there's that
wow,
group in Israel. Like if you go to Tel Aviv, everything is the same as America. Like, and you
mm,
can't find that anywhere in Europe. You can't find that anywhere in the Middle East. You can't find that in Russia or China or Africa or South America. But in little Israel, these people like love America. You know, they really do. Like on the 4th of July, you should go like on the 4th of July because it's amazing. You
mm,
just see American flags everywhere. It's like, what
that's
country
cool.
does that on the 4th of July besides America? You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
that is correct American foreign policy in action. When countries want to be exactly like us. You know what I'm saying? When they want our laws, they want our culture, they want our way of life, they want our economic system, they want to trade with us, they want to do business with us. Especially Israel's all smart and militarily advanced. I
it's,
want to I want to ask you about the war in Iran since we got on the Israel subject. What's your you see in right now like Saudi Arabia building a pipeline in 2 weeks from Doha
mhm,
to the Red Sea, claiming that they're going to send it to Israel also so that it'll power Europe, and Qatar and Kuwait and the UAE all ride into battle with Israel, with America, the father ruling over it,
mhm,
you know, and we're like fucking these people, this evil regime created by the deep state CIA and the Iran Contra
mhm,
affair. We're like, we're like blowing them away to oblivion, and people are
mhm.
blackpilling, you know, like on Donald Trump. Like
I
he
would
paints a picture of himself as Jesus, dude. He's like really like Jesus. He's like a messianic figure. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude is like unifying the Jews and the Arabs to battle
I could
the
say
Iranians.
he
What?
reminds he reminds me of a prophet. I couldn't say he's Jesus, but he reminds me of a prophet, someone that's probably been positioned by God to definitely to heal the world. I think he's the best person to bring us peace. I approve of everything he's doing. And the main reason I approve of everything he's doing because I'm looking at the people that's mad. The people that's mad, eh, they actually wish for the destruction of of the country. It's not even propaganda. I've actually seen Twitter posts saying,
Infrastructure.
I wouldn't be upset if a nuke hit New York. I'm like, okay, so that's what happens when we start to accept this stuff into our country.
Mm,
That's what happens when we start. So look, regardless of what anyone thinks, I like to look at the world the way it is, not the way I want it to be, not the way it could be. I just like to look at it the way it is.
mm,
So we've had Israel as an ally for God knows how long. grown up throughout this country, I've never seen so many people wish for the destruction of our country and wish for our enemies to win till now. So you mean to tell me in an era where Israel get the most backlash is the same era where people are wishing nuclear warheads go off in the United States? Now I'm not saying no propaganda like it's a mass exodus of Americans saying that we should get nuked, but I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I've seen enough of people
I've
being
seen a lot of
radicalized
people
enough.
say that they hope America loses the war in Iran. Like
Yeah,
we lose one for their moral clarity.
yeah.
I'm
And
like,
for the
good the
strength of
fuck for
that,
you. We don't
I
fucking
stand against
ever
it.
lose. We're America.
Yeah. So I have to stand against it. I have to stand against everything with Iran because I'm seeing what happens when we stand against our allies. Shit, we're standing with our enemies. I'm like, okay, if you want to push away from Israel, say we need to stop funding Israel, funding other countries, stay as a nationalist, okay. But how the hell does this shift to us supporting our enemies? Like
Right.
that, it keeps me up at night. I'm like, okay, if you wanted to push foreign interference from one country, keep us independent, keep us free, cool. I'm with that. I can't disagree with that, bro. Be honest. But if you tell me after we quote unquote do that, you say, now we need to support these people because they've been done wrong. Fuck these people. They want to death for us. Like that was the
Exactly.
plan all along, and I don't see how people
And
don't see
they've
the
proven it
patterns.
in Europe, all over the world, and even in Africa, and even in Asia, and all the sorts of countries. They're like really proving what they want to do to the West. It's already been
Yes.
done to the other countries, and these people in the West want to simp for them and pearl
Hmm.
clutch because it's about Israel. Like you see, I saw Fuentes say that he hopes the Iranian regime kills
See,
all the protesters. They killed 100,000 fucking people, dude, unarmed people. Like that's so crazy that like people like that can galvanize audiences.
mm, man, that's crazy.
But you're right.
It's not about,
You're right. They want to use this to say that like America should lose or whatever, as if like Trump has like suddenly become a Zionist. He was like a
yeah.
Zionist in 2015 when he came down the escalator. He's the guy who moved the embassy to Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying?
They have no idea. They have nothing. They know nothing about President Trump's history. Even I think a lot of his establishments has some Hebrew on them, thanks to his collaboration with the
Mm-hmm.
Jewish community throughout his career. Like he's
Right.
worked with Jewish people from damn near day one. They've been very supportive of him. So it's not anything that's unique. If people have been good to you, why not be good unto them?
Exactly.
It's just the age of the internet. I have to tell myself all the time, it's the internet. It's not entirely reality. So things are a little bit different.
And there's a big psyop taking place on all the platforms.
Yes.
Like Elon Musk has his own platform, but the other
Hmm.
platforms like are like in super collusion with each other. They all pretend we're
Yes.
gonna be like this, or Mark Zuckerberg is like he's gonna say the word based and then like attract people to like post on Facebook about based things. You know what I'm saying? And like they like try to do this like culture grab, and like X kind of like maintains like I said, that dark webby say anything you want streak,
Yes. But
and they do
edgy.
it, and they do it. And a lot of people, they're allowed to say any, like I don't think I'm allowed to say anything. You know what I'm saying? Like on X, and I'm like one of the most influential Jewish accounts on X. Not
For
only that,
sure.
I'm the only Jewish account on X that is interfacing with people in a podcast. I did David Duke, Dan Bilzerian, Jake Shields 3 times. Like I said, Hassan Shibli, Candace is always I Alex Jones. I've done so many different people. I mean, that gets crazy. Harrison
Hmm.
Smith, Owen Schroyer, like 100,000 times. I mean, like, give me a break, man. I'm like all over this community on X, and that's why they see me as like a big disrupting force. When you have like these podcasts, these conversations that take place, they break the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a breaker of narratives moment. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah, for
narrative
sure.
is the system plugging away, and X is playing that system. And believe it or not, it is largely owned by Prince Talal of Saudi Arabia, who's like a vehement Jew hater. You
Mm,
ask yourself, you know, the influences. Why does X act this way? It's because the
yeah.
influence is at the top. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. It's always on the head of the snake. It always will be. It's the
Our
way it works.
creators are paid the lowest. It's the hardest to get in. That's why your account is so important. You're one of the biggest people. You're like one of the biggest people in the black community. You see people like Charlemagne the God and all these other people in the black community.
Yeah.
None of them are on X. You
I
know what
don't
I'm
know.
saying? You're like just as big as Charlemagne the God. He's just has like this long,
Yeah.
career, so everybody sees him as a traditional figure in media.
Sure.
But you're like new media, and you're like dominating it. and that's why they take your money away from you because they don't
Yeah.
want you to be replace their puppet Charlemagne the God or whoever else they've elevated.
But I
Body
think what they
culture,
forget is
who
that
sleeps with every black entertainer in the industry. You know what I mean?
I think what they forget is that people that get to a lot of prominence, most of the people I met, the money was a goal to secure the family because you're racing against the clock. We all getting old, but is never the primary goal. The goal was to actually present people the truth. So I think they do those things sometimes. It's life that does it to you just to test what your true intentions are. Dude, I
Mm-hmm.
started here without getting paid. It was here to present the truth. I didn't like how some things was presented. Even like I see things, I'm so thankful I'm in a position where I can see something like Erica Gert getting slandered and I can be a voice to call that out. I can
Mm-hmm.
say this is wrong. I don't have to just look at the TV screen and say this is wrong. I'm waiting for someone to say something. The
How do
greatest
we
benefit of
stop
being
that
me.
without? How do we stop that abuse of Erica without an exodus from
Oh
the
man,
show?
unfortunately, the only answer, and you might not like it, is to actually ignore it. And ain't that the hardest thing to do? Because it's like because when you're dealing with a narcissistic behavior, any attention is all it equates to positivity. Doesn't matter how bad it is. If you're talking to a real life narcissist, any type of attention, it equates to positivity. So you can call it out, you can denounce it, you can say you're disgusted, you can call it evil, you could say it ruins your day. But all of that would just means, oh, these people can't keep me off their mind to the minds of a narcissist. So absence is almost the only answer,
Mhm.
at
Yeah,
least in my opinion.
about 2 years ago, I used to do content like 3 or 4 times a week. I was just like addicted to it. About 2 years ago on Rosh Hashanah, I had this moment where I was just like, I'm only gonna do content if it means something to me and it fits into my. In Hebrew, the word is matzav, like my being of my way of being an
Mhm.
activist. You know what I'm saying? And I respect you. You're a journalist. You know you.
Right.
I remember when they made that media campaign. You are the media now. You remember that whole thing? There must
Yeah,
have
I
been
do.
tens of
Yeah,
millions of
yeah,
dollars
definitely.
that went into that campaign. To convince everybody to be citizen journalists. And like you came up in that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You were the media, and then you did become the media. And then the
I did
world
what they
laughed at
asked.
you because you did become the media, and you went from side to side. You were with Candace for a while. You bounced. You did
Mhm.
Myron Gaines. You bounced. You were doing the show with Walter Weeks and
Yeah,
Gary.
Let's-
Are you still doing that podcast
yeah,
with
we still
them?
do that. Yeah, we still do. We have
You
an
guys are so
episode.
good. I used to
So
like
it,
that. I like Gary. Gary's like really good, man. He's such an it. The way he ties the numerology together, it's just like
it amazes me, man. He really is one of
and
the
I like
most.
Kabbalah. That's why I like him. It like stimulates that same.
He he's one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. People they don't be able to see that because of his presentation, the way he do it. But if they get the chance to sit down and talk with that dude, they'd have no doubt it's one of the most intelligent human beings to walk this earth. Because the way that man can just look at someone and be able to identify everything, like, dude, I mean, I just haven't seen someone that know every single date.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like, oh, you're in this personal year, and this year right here, this is your enemy. That's like, how in the hell would you have every single detail memorized about every date in existence? There's not one date that
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't give him. He wouldn't be able to identify um, how it correlates to numerology. It's pretty amazing. I've never seen nothing like it. So, cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then every time you guys would do a show, I watched that show a lot actually. When you guys would do those things, and like you would ask him all the time different like numerology qualities. So this is this
Mhm.
year, that year, dragon or whatever. But
Yeah,
I'm very happy that last year was my enemy year, and that was the first time I was ever like
uh,
in that consciousness, thinking or hearing about that stuff. And boy,
yeah.
did I have like an enemy year, man! I was just like, holy shit.
Congrats
And
you
that's
out,
why I
man.
applauded
Well,
Gary because I was
I'm
like,
supposed to
holy
be in my
shit.
year, but I'm in a personal 9 year, so that's where you could expect that demonetization for that little bit of time. That's what
You
happens
get
in
out.
9 years.
So you think they're gonna remonetize you at some point, or like control you, or like what comes next for you, like with them? Like, what are you
I,
anticipating
I
they're
believe
gonna
they
do in
would.
exchange for the money back?
I believe they would, but I'm pretty religious. When things like that happen, it's a sign to
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily pivot, but to focus more on what you've missed out on. So I mean, I think to be honest with you, in 2024, I think I demonetized. I thought it was indefinite. It says it's 3 months here, but then they could push it in indefinite. Life is just that random. I mean, hell,
Yeah.
just a while ago, I was celebrating my 32nd birthday with my family, having some of the best time of my life. Just like a week or two later, there's memes of me walking on water claiming I said I was Jesus Christ. Things happen quick. I can't really guarantee what it is, but I know it'll be good. I've never been in a situation where it doesn't end out good. But I think it would almost be I would be leading myself to a trap to assume that it wouldn't come back or assume that it would because X is so sporadic, man. There's no way to guarantee what happens.
And I think it's really that the algorithm is just so advanced that it
Yeah,
has you and every tweet analyzed and scored, and there's like a data sheet somewhere with like a million points of data that like diagnoses you as being able to be used for XYZ, LMNOP,
hmm
this, that, and the other thing. And like now you're in like punishment mode. And in
yeah,
punishment mode, it's like so it's like waxing and waning of the moons. Like
yeah,
they're using you in a system. They're like taking you out, taking you in, anything but an organic environment. You know what I'm saying? And they want to use you for something at some time. They're anticipating your inorganic nature
hmm
through their data that they can elevate you just like they do to Gunther Edelman or any of these or Eagleman or any of these other people, these massive accounts that get pushed, by the system. Nick Sorter, all these huge accounts that are
yeah.
like literally made by the system. You look at like certain podcasters. I don't want to criticize people. I mean, Lex Friedman is like a gigantor of the industry, but like, it's a very
Yeah,
specific thing. Sean Ryan has become very industry influenced. You see the where the industry and the paycheck kind of dictate who is controllable and who's not controllable, and they all seem to follow that same Tucker Carlson narrative where, oh my God, Israel and this, that, and the other thing, and it's all about some like massive conspiracy. The moon landing was either real or fake.
it's
You know, it's
it's easy
everybody
views.
gets divided into camps.
Look, I'll tell you right now, I do the media. I do like I said, sometimes 100 posts a day. You know, some of the easiest times I had in my life in my Twitter career, anti-Israel. When I was like, yeah, screw Israel, bro. That was some of the easiest content ever because it's easy. It's what you call easy, low effort content because you have a lot of people that's radicalized waiting for you to say, dude, it could be anything, bro. I'm talking about when you have a group of people that really hate Jews, you can say anything and get like 5,000 likes. I'm telling you, I could literally be like,
Yeah,
ice cream machine down at McDonald's. I'm
and
blaming the
that's
Jews.
why
Boom, it's a banger.
yeah, and that's why when people are talking about like foreign registry and like FARA and like undue influences of foreign countries in America, dude, literally like Twitter is owned by a Saudi prince. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And they're paying out massive checks for anti-Semitism. Like anti-Semitism is the most profitable
it's paying
avenue
well.
on the platform. You know what I'm saying? It's the easiest. You got losers like that Korean guy who looks like a girl with his long hair and his earrings. I forget his like Quan something. He's always being pushed by the algorithms. Quan Lee or whatever. And they throw people at you. Like if you're an influencer, like they throw into my feed who they want me to interact with. The algorithm is trying to pair me up with people to either fight or to like,
Yeah,
boost
yeah,
or to,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yes, you're figuring it out. Yes, they will pair you up with people to fight too. Yes, they will. Yeah,
And
I've
they
seen
pair
that.
me up with everybody. Those fights
Yeah,
are over and done with. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
now Twitter's at, and this is where you are such an interesting character in the Xverse, because like, who are you really? Like, I would
hmm
say that a lot of you're like me in the sense that you walk between many worlds.
Yes,
I
definitely.
like a, talk with so many people. Jake Shields, Elijah Schaefer, like some of the biggest anti-Semitic names. I have like
hmm
conversations, relationships with, whatever. It doesn't matter. Even I would even go as far as saying friendships in some ways.
hmm
That have been developed through like just honest communication and being real with each other. And those are organic. And then
Yeah,
so X, you're like that. Like, what are you gonna do next? You walk between worlds, and
yeah.
that's why I think they're really demonetizing you, is because it's like almost like a a moment to like take a step back and see how do because everybody takes everybody's content. Like
hmm
people are always stealing content. And that's why I wanted to say earlier in the podcast, you were saying stealer
Narratives. Yeah,
of narratives. I want to call you an amplifier of narratives. You have
yeah.
amplified so many narratives through the freaking roof, man. So
Thank you.
many stories. And I hate creators that are like pearl clutching on what they think is theirs. I have
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of views on my own account. There are way more views out on the internet of me than what I own. And there are people who are monetizing me better than I'm monetizing myself on these
Bro,
platforms.
I'm gonna tell you how bitter people are, and it shocks me because I used to expect myself and others. When I was demonetized in 24, I was in a group chat on X, and it was with creators that weren't giving each other no tips. They were just all comparing how much they were getting paid every 2 weeks. I was in a group, and we would typically all compare how much we're getting paid, and just was interesting to see what everyone else is getting. And bro, I kid you not, throughout the whole year while I was demonetized, every paycheck, I would say, congrats, congrats, happy for you, bro, congrats. Some of those days I didn't even know if I was gonna be okay in the future. And so I'm just saying that to say this, that you can't find yourself in other people. Even at my lowest, I was congratulated. I felt like I was falsely demonetized, but yet I could still be happy for these other people because they were gaining any wins. I can't expect that out of others. I can never expect that. And that's when I started gaining a lot of happiness into myself because I
They
was
dance
expecting
on your
myself in others.
bodies. They dance on your body.
Yeah, they will. And that's what it is. I can't expect myself on others. And more importantly, I can't let myself reflect them and become them just because that's their own inadequacies.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta remain true, gotta remain positive, gotta
You're
remain
bigger
loving.
than them. Bottom
So
line, they're
yeah,
jealous of the fact that like you can accidentally step on them, not
yeah,
noticing. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
no,
On
yeah, for sure.
accident and crush them, so they hate. You know what I'm saying? Because your shoes are too big.
Yeah.
They
But
can't
bro, there's a
handle
lot
your
that we can
shoes.
do to get help with your account. I'm definitely gonna, give you some tips and stuff behind the
I
scenes, let you
appreciate
know
that,
the thing.
man, because
I
I've
got you.
seen you blow up, and honestly, I think you're one of the. I love you as a creator. I've always watched you.
Okay.
I love watching people change their
Yeah,
narrative. Like I love watching people investigate. Like they said, you are the media now. That was the
yeah,
campaign. So you got to find the truth. So how do you find the truth? People get at and then they go out and like you said with the tunnel stories, you
yeah,
went straight up in there and they were like,
yeah,
I remember those videos. You were like straight up in 770,
yeah.
like interviewing people. That's why like that loser Tyler Oliveira and other people wanted to do it because they saw you do it and they like are
Yeah.
trying to emulate you, but they're trying to emulate it for their own thing, like trying to like be like, oh,
Manipulate
this
it.
surely uncovers Somalian fraud, and therefore these Jews who like literally work full
Mhm.
time jobs but like have 7 children, so they need like government assistance. They're like, it's the biggest fraud since
Yeah,
Somalia, which was 3 weeks
yeah.
ago. They're like just trying to tack on to like
Because they
content that.
understand, that what I understood, but I put the truth over it. They understand that if they give the truth, it would end up like the tunnels. It wouldn't get that many views. It
Mm,
still don't have that many views on YouTube. What, like 8,000 something?
mm,
Um, it'll get you very, very little views, but a ton of hate from the people that you need to support it. Not many people can look at that and make the decision to do what's right or true to them. Because I can't even say what's right or true, but true to them. What's true to you, or what's
yeah,
true to me is present the truth, let it flop. I'll sleep good at night knowing I presented what was true. So
yeah. Are you just on media to be a journalist, or like are you down for other things, like with
journalists
content?
is the main thing because I just want to be a journalist more accepted more and more into pop culture, which is why I've been out here in Miami to focus
Yeah, I like
on
your pop culture
integrate.
coverage. You do really great pop culture
And
coverage.
that's the goal because that's every election season. Those are the people that political campaigns are trying to gain.
Yeah.
So instead of me trying to double down on audiences that we always have, my goal is always to get the people that we're going to be looking for every 4 years. I'm looking for the normies. I want to gain the normies because
Yeah.
the normies are the most valuable every election season. I'm always thinking ahead. I'm not really trying to become the most loved person in MAGA. I don't care about being the most loved person. I don't even care about being the top loved 20 loved people in MAGA because MAGA is not my target. My target is to find people and bring them to MAGA. That's how you really win. I can let other creators work on retention. That's why I don't really make sense to a lot of people. My goal here isn't to retain you. My goal here is to win new people. It's the reason I dress the way I do. Reason I talk the way I do. Reason I post the way I do. It's the reason I say nigga in some of my posts. Because guess what? There's a lot of blacks searching the word nigga on Twitter. If they see a journalist type of nigga, they were like, this is kind of weird. I don't understand it. I like them. Let me follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Well,
how
sis,
many
you
people
are
are
such
searching
a
the word
voice in the
nigga?
black community. You are like have become, you have become such like a pillar voice. Like they're not gonna ever be able to get rid of you because of
Yeah,
like you have such a stronghold in the black community. Like people trust you a lot in the black community. That's why
yeah.
I suggested earlier, like maybe you run for office at some point, or because you
One
already
day.
have like a big support base, and.
Thank
Well,
you. I
when I
can see it
asked
one
you that,
day.
was that?
One day I can see it. That definitely would be
Yeah.
probably a.
When I asked you about content, especially as it relates to pop culture, I love creating content and expressing
Hmm.
ideas through content. And my podcast is like one way that I express myself by having like these
Yes.
really intelligent, deep, even very controversial and difficult conversations with people. It's also
Hmm.
very entertaining, but also in that mix, um, like part of the like in content, like I started making like actually like fictional content that tells a story. Would you ever like act or be in a movie or do anything like that? Have you ever given any thought to that?
I would one day.
Like playing
I could see.
yourself, Dom Lucre, in a movie. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I might could, but I would wait till my brand is at its maximum peak to where it's
You
just
don't think you're
and
already at that place? I mean, I just
not
saw
where I want.
Navicular on 60 Minutes. Like, he just
Where I
came
want to
out.
be.
You know what I'm saying?
Where I want to be, not where I want to be. Because it's something else I want to be. I would do it,
Where
but
do you want to be? That's a great question. Where does Dom Lucre want to
easily
be?
one of the most recognized names in America. That's the end goal. That's what I'm working towards. But that's a very, very, very hard goal to reach. I mean, to be considered with the Will Smiths, the Kanye Wests, the Kim Kardashians, to be considered with Charlie Kirk or these people that are beyond all brands, because those are the people that can genuinely shift the narrative and truly get us the most voters. If you can reach that peak, I envision a world where conservative could be accepted into those liberal medias. It sounds like an impossible task. That's why I'll probably be working on it for life. But could be accepted into the medias where I could be on Breakfast Club and it's not a slander campaign. Where they accept me, we laugh together, etc. And I'm just siphoning their voters. I'm just siphoning their voters, having a conversation. That's my end goal. To be accepted on these platforms, to be wanted on these platforms,
Hmm.
and to influence on these platforms where we're not allowed. That is my end goal. And only way I can do that is to get hotter and to start making content that they approve of as well.
What's your portfolio like? You're like clearly your main platform is Twitter, but
Mhm.
on
YouTube
other
second.
you're on Instagram and where else? TikTok.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Those are the main ones. I'm focusing a lot on these video content now because journalism and tweets only get you so far writing these posts. You got to also make video content. I got some videos that's done really well on YouTube and just going to keep on that, keep pushing these out.
Yeah, this conversation has been so dope. The clips are going to be incredible. Like really
Yeah.
like good clips for any content creators listening. And unfortunately, I'm like looking at our viewership right now. Bro, they
Mhm.
have suppressed this podcast on
It's
X
okay.
so heavily. It's like embarrassing. I've never had views this low before on X. I'm looking at it right now. It's like it's just
Just send me the
embarrassing.
clips. When they're done, it'll go viral. I'll post them
Yeah,
on the
I
page. It's
will.
all
They
good.
really don't want this conversation to be had. They don't want we it's going to be the clips from this conversation.
Yeah.
Good content making is like when the conversation moves fast. You don't want
Hmm.
people having like 5 minute soliloquies. You want like ba 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 ba, back and forth, lots of laughter, where the
Yeah.
camera, like just that smile you made right now, the camera can just like
Mhm.
zoom in and only
You're right.
take you laughing for that 1 second. That one
Actually,
second where you laugh and then it goes back to the storyline. That's a good
mhm.
clip, man. That'll teach
You're right.
somebody how to make clips. You know what I'm saying? So I might do
Yes.
that for this clip just to prove the point. Like what does it take to make good clips? But there's a
Yeah, man.
lot of unbelievable AI out there, like Opus Clip and whatnot. You could just upload your whole podcast, and then next thing you know, you got 100 clips ready to go. You know,
Mm.
you have
It's
your own
crazy right here.
podcast. Do you want a podcast?
I have like a YouTube channel. I don't really want to find myself too grounded to podcasts just now.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I get this YouTube channel up to where I want, I might just do a podcast. It's just the problem with podcasts is that since I do X creation, people are going to expect consistency. That would be the main issue. They would expect me to show up on time every day that's on that day, and some days that might not be too feasible with doing what I do on X. So until I find a way to disperse like the responsibilities, it really wouldn't be too feasible to do a podcast, but just doing open talking content. Where I'm standing right now is where I actually put my YouTube videos off. Set up my phone and just click play. Nothing too special or anything. Just keep it super personal and talk through my thoughts and my opinions on the way of the world. So I'm just kind of like doubling down on that, probably to about the fall. But maybe around the fall or winter, I could see me probably open up a podcast.
Dope. That's exciting, man. There's so much types of content that you could do. Like man on the street talking to people.
Yeah.
Lots of things go viral, and like I just like making content. There's like a thrill of it. Like
Yes.
It really, and that's why I asked you about a movie. I actually made a movie last year with Bobby Kennedy,
Mm.
RFK's son, and we never released it, but it was so
Wow.
cool to like conceptualize content in that fashion. It was called The
You're a
Creature from
visionary.
LA Como, and it was about John Paul Getty is still alive, harvesting children, for adrenochrome to live forever underneath the Getty Museum. It was like a dope, it was a comedy, but it was like a dope movie and storyline. We all played ourselves in the movie. Everybody
Mm.
played themselves. And so there was no like character names. You were your character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you would be like perfect for that kind of stuff. That's the type of content that I'm like really getting at, where it's like where fiction and reality kind of like overlap and blend for the
Hmm.
for like the for like a narrative or like a philosophy to be transferred over or an idea to be transferred over to the public. I'm reading The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand right now, and she's like literally injecting philosophy into like a story about architecture. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
I'm just like, dude, this is the way to go, because it's so
Yeah.
easy to influence people by saying, you know, Jews good, goy's
Yep.
bad, or Jews bad, goy's good, or whatever it
Hmm.
is. But to like actually get out there and to make art and like make people laugh. Laughter is
Yes.
the way, bro. Because if you can make people laugh, you could tell their heart anything if you can make them
And
laugh.
that segues into what I had said earlier. I said, that content is easy content. It's low effort. Making that negative content that feeds on negative emotions to piss people off, to say screw these people. Hey, your life is bad. Things aren't going your way because these people at the top want you there. That is very easy to convey to people. I'll tell you. If
Yeah,
someone's mom is in ICU room and they don't have the funds to take care of it. Well, shit, the Jews own the medical institutes and they own your job too. And that's the reason why your mom's gonna die. They can't pay for it. And it's like, that's very, believe it or not, that's very easy to make someone believe.
yeah.
Because these are people that, unfortunately, it's things aren't doing that well for them.
And if their
And so
mom gets
you'll,
saved by some medical breakthrough that was
yeah.
invented by a Jew, it doesn't count.
So it's like people, it's so easy. And I don't want to call people desperate because shit, I guess I call myself desperate. I was born poor and stuff. But it was so easy for me when money was an issue, when I did not know how I was going to actually eat, genuinely broke enough to not know I was going to eat that day. It would have been very easy for someone to breathe negativity into me. It would have been very easy for me to accept it because I don't even have the time to distinguish what's real or fake. I'm broke. I don't got time for that. But I got the time to be pissed.
Yeah,
And if you're
exactly.
telling me that someone put me in this position, okay, now I'm mad at him. And now I want to keep honing
Or
in.
even possibly funny about it, like Fuentes is, and makes you
Yeah.
laugh about the situation so you feel a little bit better, you know.
It reminds me of the 2020 era with Trump when it was, trust the plan. And a lot of people ended up not running, ended up not getting too active in politics
Yeah.
because we were all trusting the plan. And it somewhat reminds me of that because it allows for you to live in this type of reality where you think you don't really have to do much because someone else is responsible for your positions, whether that be good or bad. People really didn't work like they should because they said Trump was responsible, touch the pen, he'll get it all done. We just sit and wait. People will argue now and don't try to better their lives because they'll say everything's gone. We can't get up there. We can't get anything better. Anyone's at the top, they've been bought off. They're controlled. They
Mm.
can't talk about Jews. They're manipulated. Like it's these false realities that people have set themselves in. It's like the walls they built up are the same ones they found themselves trapped in.
You know, I normally don't like this guy, but he hit it on the head. Gavin McInnes made a video about like, he said you're such a pussy if you're off the Trump train because you don't like Trump being a Zionist, or because of the Jews, because you see
Mhm.
all these people that like basically have like left Trump like publicly, like Alex Jones and people who've been there from the beginning. Other people I saw in Schroyer, who's a good friend of mine, make a video saying, I don't know how I'm going to be able to vote for Democrat this year, but I can't vote for Republican. And I'm like, yo, bro, you've been psyoped, brother. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're going to like support purple haired trannies infecting your kids with, DEI just because you don't like the fact that Trump is acting like a Zionist, even though he's been a Zionist since 2015. What is your message? Like, what do you say to all these people who are literally like abandoning the Trump train in
I,
mass formation, like all together,
bro,
kumbaya? They like
I
hate
can see
Trump all
it.
of a sudden.
I can say the same thing like even me is I'm seeing all the people and I'm not attributing my I'm not even comparing myself to Trump, but I'm saying on a personal level, I'm seeing it that people wait for the opportunity because they were never really maybe that real of a supporter. So these people were waiting for opportunity because it was convenient to support Trump. It got followers, it got people money, and it didn't look like the logical decision to stand against him if he had such a an
But
enormous
it's because
amount of
he
people that
didn't
would
have
support him.
money. I was
Mhm.
very involved in Trump version one. I'm close with this guy, Elliot Broidy, who was the finance chair of the Republican Party that went down for how he hooked up with that Playboy playmate and got her pregnant, and everybody thought it was Trump's kid. Do you remember that? And then he
Mhm.
had to step
Mhm.
down. He raised $428 million for Trump in 2016. And in
Damn.
2016, Trump only had $678 million. And so you think the Jews came together so hard. That was Sheldon Adelson. That was all these people that like really showed up when no one was showing up for Trump. Literally 2/3 of the of and Hillary Clinton ran a $1.4 billion budget campaign. He beat it
Mhm.
with $678 million. 2/3 of it was donated by the Jews. So Trump was always like this guy. And even in 2024, his his raised dollars are so low. Obviously there's white Christian evangelicals that are going to support him, but compared to Jewish donors and Jewish support, bro, the numbers are astronomical. The numbers are astronomical, and especially 2024. I'm sorry, yeah, 2024. uh 2020, like nobody was supporting Trump. Nobody was throwing in money. It was like MAGA was MAGA. CAG was a losing cause, Keep America Great. But 2024, nobody was going to give money to Trump again except the Jews, and he won again. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
people want to LARP on that, but they also don't want purple-haired trannies teaching their kids, what the butthole is at age 5. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like, come on.
I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying? Like, do we
Yes.
live in this fucking matrix or what, bro?
It sometimes feel like you're there by yourself. You'll see this mindsets of some people. It's like, are they witnessing the same content I'm witnessing? Are they having the same experiences? Are we sharing the same experience? Because there's no way you came to that conclusion.
And how many of their leaders, like in the Jew hate camp, have like the most embarrassing falls on their own sword? Like
Yeah.
where it comes out that they're like literally alpha chads, like sucking dick and stuff like that. Like that Virillium guy. You remember
That,
him? Like
yeah.
people
Well, I
fell
think a lot of it can
down.
go
They like
to.
really fell down. You know what I'm saying? Like on their own swords. You know what I mean?
I think of a lot of go to, like I say, when things aren't going your way and you're looking for. I mean, as a human being, a man, human being, whoever you are, mostly it's men. You're looking for who struck me, who hurt me, and as soon as you are told by the right person, these are the people that did it. Now you got an enemy for the next 2 3 years. It's typically people that have had faults or had some controversies or some friction in their life. That's typically when you see the hate start to stir because you need to find someone to hate for the issues you might have stirred on yourself.
So what do you think about Tucker? Like where did all
I
that
don't know
come
what to
from?
say. I'm kind of confused about it. I don't know what happened with the switch, bro. I just don't know where that shift really happened. I don't support him. Shit. I mean, if that I don't support the dude. I don't
Does
like none of
every
that.
single episode he does have to pertain about the Jews now? Is that like part of his show? Like he is the Jew cast?
Yeah, I've never really been big on Tucker, but because his people got CIA history anyway. But I never really been too big on Tucker Carlson ever. So it wasn't really hard for me to
Mhm,
just pretty much exit him out, like shut him out my life. But I don't really know where it comes from.
mhm.
It's kind of strange to me, and I feel like maybe it's can't really say Tucker is struggling for views, but maybe you could say Tucker might be struggling for relevancy because none of the other topics that he talked about really has any relevancy. The only other one, I'll have to give Tucker credit, the only topic outside of him talking about the Jews that gained some relevancy for the 2 days that it did was when he was interviewing that Catholic exorcist, forgot that father. That did about 2 days of circulation, but it's nothing in comparison to when it's Jewish. Some of those things circulate for 6 8 days. So I think that's kind of where it stems from. It gives you a lot of relevancy and it feels good.
You also see him like carrying out like as a mouthpiece for Iran, saying America's losing the war. Like that's very weird. Like he's walking into the White House, meeting with Donald Trump,
Yeah.
having these like very public meetings, and then he's like out there, like literally pushing regime propaganda.
Mm. Yeah, I know with him meeting Trump and stuff, and then it'd be back and forth. I'm like, dude, is this dude intelligence and no one knows except these two? Like, to hell, like,
And the craziest thing is his son too, Buckley, is the chief communications for
Mhm.
JD Vance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's like
that's why I don't know. It's like it makes me wonder: is there something going on behind the scenes where
there
this
has
dude
to be.
he's actually aligning people up? Maybe he's aligning with people to profile them to help them get profiled. I don't know
Or it's
because
indicative of how big of a divide is inside of the administration with JD Vance
yeah,
and
that would be. I mean, that's the more terrifying answer. I hope it wouldn't be the latter, because I mean,
and then
shit,
you
you got
wonder
this
about
dude.
why Charlie Kirk was assassinated. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like if he was the only linchpin keeping the entire administration together, keeping Trump and JD Vance like a one unified tent, of course they're going to try to take him out. He's,
yeah,
you know, they couldn't take out the president. They tried, you know. JD Vance is clearly a losing cause in
mhm,
2028. Like Gavin Newsom has burnt down our entire state, fucked it up royally. Like people are begging him. Democrats are begging him. They're like, please suspend the gas tax while the war is going on because it's like an extra
mhm,
25% that no
yeah,
other state has to pay. It's like $7 a gallon in California for gas right now. And he's like, nope, not gonna do it. And he will run against JD Vance and just like mog at him all day and just be
yeah.
like, like look at me, I'm Jason Bateman, American Psycho, and like, and JD Vance will be like, man, I don't agree with it, and the whole country's gonna like vote Democrat. Like that's a losing cause. The Democrat playbook is to
Yeah.
separate Trump and JD Vance, and Charlie Kirk stood in the way of that. You know what I'm
And
saying?
Democrats are better with also knowing where the pendulum is swinging for the youth. They also good with telling what's really. They come off as cringe every time, but at the end of the day, they're aware. Is one thing I can't take from him. They're aware. He knows about the looks max and all that stuff having relevancy now. He's playing
Exactly.
into all
And
those
who did
things.
he interview too? He interviewed Charlie Kirk. That was a break the internet moment when Charlie Kirk
Yeah.
sat with Gavin Newsom. You know what I mean?
So he's playing. He's made every right move. I hate to admit it, but they right. They
It's
right. See, the thing is, if you can't admit where your enemies are, then you're going to allow for them to run right over you because you underestimate them. So it's like,
well,
even like Hillary Clinton, I'll say she's brilliant. Don't like her, but she's
then
brilliant because she's able to get under all of our skin. She has to have some type of talent. She's doing something right. Obama has to be brilliant.
yeah,
Can't stand this dude. Like, people can't stand him. Motherfucker. You have to be
yeah.
somewhat brilliant to get under everyone's skin constantly over and over
But they're
again.
winning, or they
Yeah.
won. Not they're winning now.
Yep.
They won at a time in the past.
Yes.
Barack
Yes. Yes.
Obama's dead. He's never coming back to politics
Never.
again. Michelle Obama is not going to be president. None of that stuff is
Mhm.
going to happen. And the Democrats are imploding. Like they know that they're one step away from absolute dictatorship because
Yep.
they're not fielding any platform whatsoever. They don't even have a policy that they're going to run on. They're just going to be like Mog. Gavin
Mhm.
Newsom, Mog for dictatorship, Democrat hegemony. That's the campaign. Again, and they're hoping it's JD Vance. And that's
Yeah.
why, like, when it's so weird when Candace Owens is blabbering about everybody who killed Charlie Kirk except any Democrat. No
Mhm.
Democrat hopeful,
Yeah.
no George Soros, no like DNC. They're planting like bombs outside of fake bombs outside of their own DNC headquarters with Kamala Harris, but like they're not, a part of the problem. And Adam King, who wasn't even at the Hampton Summit, was somehow in control of the Hampton Summit. And that's the story that the public runs with because it divides the Republican base. And you have good people like Owen Schroyer and others who are like really love this country, but they are so heavily manipulated to be like making public comments. They're off the Trump train all of a sudden. And it's like, Shema Yisrael, like, why? Where is your loyalty, brother? Like, did
Yeah.
you quickly forget? Like, did you get vaccinated? Are you drinking atrazine water or something? Like, why are you thinking this way all of a sudden? We got like win after win after win domestically, and win after win after win internationally, but like somehow everybody wants like this Thomas Massey, like by the hills of Tennessee. We're a small time nation. We're not an empire. We just a small time nation with our corn pipe in Tennessee,
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, dude, we're a fucking empire. We have 13 battleships We're not like some isolationist country, you know. We
Yeah.
have 13 aircraft carriers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You gotta make use of those tax dollars, man. Like, come on.
we're never gonna get rid of America, the empire, but they want it to be like little old Tennessee, and
Yeah,
we forgot about every other
defenseless.
place in the country, and like America first. It's like
Mhm.
Tennessee first. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
you
defenseless.
know.
That's what it'd be.
But yeah, dude, that's my jam with all this media stuff. Is like the whole thing is a psyop. Is there any organic place in the media? What do you think? Like,
Organic. Yeah, and I think it shifts more that you can have independent creators more to gain relevancy.
mhm,
You see more and more.
they have to do
Hmm.
things, like
Yeah,
make
see more of a
movies
push.
and make music and stuff like that. Really influence. You ever thought about
Yeah.
making music or anything like that?
Not music, no, but I would do maybe film or something in the future, maybe
Yo,
for.
they should put you in like everything to do with black culture. You should be in like black films. You should be like, people should. You're really have the potential, because right now you're at like this place, but you
Mhm.
have the potential to be like freaking, like you said, Jay-Z level, in the black community, but like MAGA and like,
So
for the conservative movement, and the RNC would be very
it could be a great. It
wise
could be a
to
great asset.
invest in you if
I
they
think
want
my
to
brand
win.
could be.
If we want to win, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't want to lose.
I'm trying to make sure my brand is a great asset because I'm very good on infiltrating, integrating, and separating. You infiltrate, deliver a movement, you integrate with them so they think you're one of them, then you separate them away from the same said movement. That's the
Mm.
goal. I think it could be very valuable for the GOP in the coming years. So that's what I'll be working on.
So we're approaching our 90-minute mark. The show goes an hour and a half, so I cut it there just because I see you getting antsy. You give me a lot of time. Dom,
Yeah.
I could literally talk to you for another hour, and if you want to
Oh
go
yeah,
another
we'll
hour,
exchange.
if you want to go another hour, I'm happy to keep you here another hour. You don't have to
Uh,
go, but I want to be
I have
mindful
to.
of time.
I have some other stuff I did have to do.
I
So
want
you
to be
know this.
mindful
I
of
need
your
to
time.
exchange.
I remember that time you posted that you were locked on your balcony, and I don't want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying?
We'll have to. We got to exchange numbers though, so we'll do that. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
exchange
I'll
numbers with you.
DM you my numbers, and
Yeah,
we should
man.
do
Because
it
I
in
appreciate.
person. Is if Are you ever in
Yeah,
LA?
yeah. I love California, man. You know, dog. It's a dog state. I'm a dog zodiac. So anytime, bro. I love Cali. I love an excuse to come to LA. I love
Nice.
it as much as I love
Cali
Miami.
must be
So
super. Where are you? Are you in Miami or are you in New
yeah,
York?
I'm in Miami.
You're in Miami.
Mhm.
Miami and Austin became the podcast hubs of the
Yeah,
country.
they did.
They
They did
totally
for
did,
sure.
which is so surprising because LA is like such a culturally relevant place, and like I feel like I'm the only podcast here. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that gives you dominance right there, though. So
I should make that a part of my marketing. The most important podcast in Los
yes,
Angeles.
you got the
The
dominance.
only
That's it.
one. Also,
Yeah,
Vegas came up. They got like some,
it is.
all those people got in Vegas
They're
and stuff.
great with one for sure.
Bro, anytime you want to come on, I love your commentary. I
Okay.
love your news. I can't wait to see what the amplifier of
Yeah.
narratives brings next, with your
Thank you, bro.
sensationalism and
I
um,
appreciate this,
leave
man.
this
And I
moment.
do.
Tell my audience. I'm gonna clip it. Leave us with
Mhm.
like a final nugget of wisdom, a pearl that people can
Okay.
meditate on. It doesn't even have to be about what we talked about. It could be about religion or God or anything you want. Just make a closing statement. Lead us out of here. Give us something to think about till the next time we cross paths with you.
Okay, I can say like what's currently going on with me. You could feel like you will always do everything right because I'm extremely calculated in a lot of things I do, and I try to make sure I please. I'm a people pleaser. I try to please everyone in my audience, and no matter how much you focus on trying to please everyone, you've heard it, I'm sure before. You're going to find out very quickly that you can't please everyone. But something that I found out that the moment that you stop trying to please everyone, you start gaining true support from people that are pleased by everything that you do. So that means stay true to yourself. Don't overly focus on people pleasers, but also keep people into consideration because you don't want to be, narcissistic. You don't want to think overly of yourself. You got to be aware of people around you, but at the same time, be aware of people around you, be aware of their emotions, but have self awareness that your own unique individuality is what will lead you to people that truly supports you, truly believes in you. So if you're being slandered, if you're being cooked, if you're being ratioed, any of those things, you just haven't put yourself where you should be and put yourself in front of the people where it should be, or you possibly hasn't haven't done enough to where the people feel confident or emboldened enough to even defend you. So
Mm.
it's something that's lacking in your inadequacy. Put in more work, keep your head up, and never, ever, 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 ever let them see you break.
Amen. Wow. Wise words. Thank you, brother. I'm so glad that you came on this show. I knew I was going to mash up with you well. This is at top one of my favorite podcasts I've done. I can't wait to
Thank you.
get you on another pan. Maybe even mash you up with some other people that
Let's
do
do
some
it.
crazy content. Come into the next video. Bobby and I are talking about the next movie we're making. We're just like spitting them out. You should come
Okay.
on, get in on that. Just be
We're
yourself,
gonna
man.
exchange numbers. Let's see. Let's make it happen. Let's see what we do.
Absolutely, brother. Stay up. Thank you so much. I hope this situation resolves itself quickly for
Thank you,
you and
brother.
you get back out there
God
making
bless you.
make the millions, bro. Throw it in their faces. And when they complain that you're charging too much for a post, like fuck
Yeah.
off. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Someone who's willing to pay it. Take the highest
Yeah.
bidder. Raise your prices, bro.
Oh snap! Yeah.
Raise the prices.
Yes, man. There we go. Good. All right.
Anyways, brother,
Yeah.
God bless. Take care. This will be
God
over
bless
real
you,
soon,
man.
and
Thank you, bro. I really
can't wait
enjoyed
to
this,
see the
man.
next car you buy too.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, you got to ride in it with me, bro.
I'm in it, dude.
All right.
Let's go. Next time
All
we
right,
can hang
brother.
out.
Thank you.
Peace out.
God bless.
All right, folks. That's what we do here at Awesome Jew. That's why we are Awesome Jew, because we walk across the boundaries of social context and we talk to everybody under the sun. And we have a great time doing it. I didn't even go to camera two, but we were so in this podcast here that I felt like, I was just like on the edge of my seat. I can't wait to clip this one up. This is going to be a fun one to clip up. I actually have like this new automated AI clipping promotion program that I invented, but I haven't even implemented it once. I've been so busy. I just launched that product. I told people about it on my show yesterday, and the Optima Fast Filler. It's a machine that I made to send people to the website just to you know tell people what's up with me, where I've been at the last few months, because I didn't stream. I've been building this company. I invented this machine right here that like processes cigarettes and cannabis. It basically destroys big tobacco in the cannabis industry, and it's a serious machine. It's like a lot. I said this with what was her name, Sloan Rahmath. This is the machine I made. One machine, all pre rolls, and here I am inventing machines, and I am like so set on like my engineering company and everything that we do, and we have we really made like a fantastic machine, folks. Makes all types of pre rolls, and like I suggest everybody get out there and connect. They have a problem with the cannabis because they think like base tradcons can only be Catholic and they can't do anything with weed, and like, oh my God, the devil's weed, because they're all under the psyop from 1937, thinking that weed is like somehow worse than cocaine and heroin, and like alcohol is like some sort of like miracle drug. But actually, I made a law on cannabis. I made the People versus Adam King in California, Ventura County. That was a bit. That was some cannabis activism that I did, and I came out with this podcast. You guys got to really check it out, with Big Mike a couple weeks ago, from Advanced Nutrients, where I really break down the cannabis industry. The cannabis industry is fascinating to me, folks. It is like the fastest growing place with so much money, and they're doing everything in their power to shut it down. Government overreach, crony capitalism, you name it. Yeah, fraud, government waste, occupational hazard, all sorts of major constitutional issues. It's such a fascinating aspect of law. It's such an unbelievable resource for our country, and I'm not just talking about cannabis in the um, recreational smoking sense, which is hundreds of billions of dollars a year. They estimate it to be 120 billion, even though tobacco's 87 billion. But uh, the medical applications of it have yet to been explored because those medical patents are not out yet. People haven't patented them yet. And I was talking on this podcast about the actual like hempcrete and other products that are made from the plant itself that are not intoxicating, they're not connected to cannabis, and that's like $1 trillion textile, you know, textile boost. It's all textiles and building products and all sorts of stuff. It's such a renewable resource. You could build like a 9 foot plant in like 6 months, and then that 9 foot plant is like you can make it into like a solid wood or like a concrete. It's unbelievable plant, and it also like cures cancer, and it's like really a miracle plant. So I have no shame in cannabis. I should have asked Dom about that if he's into cannabis, but that's where I've been at. I've been working on the cannabis front, trying to change the industry and save the industry so that other countries don't become the cannabis leading country of the world and we just become some sort of mindless eater that just buys our product. And I got to say, California chased out all of its cannabis businesses. It was a $30 billion industry before legalization. They created this system called Metric, which is like their track and trace system. And essentially, like the metric system, they because they could trace every part of cannabis under this system, they boast that the industry is worth $5.5 billion, and they literally cut out $24 billion from the GDP of California. And 20,000 people lost their jobs in Los Angeles. Nobody talks about it. Nobody reports on this. Nobody even knows about this, but it was billions of dollars. And they're like wasting our money left and right on the train to nowhere, the bridge to nowhere, or like burning down the Palisades and anything they could do to waste money and destroy things. And then along came Oklahoma, and Oklahoma basically legalized the black market. And so it only takes 23 acres to grow $1 billion worth of product. I mean, if you think about it, and there's billions of people around the world that consume cannabis. You know, over 100 million people consume cannabis in America once a year. That's crazy. A third of our country consumes it. It's such a renewable resource, and it like is a tremendous wealth generator. So I want to prohibit big pharma, big tobacco, and big alcohol from doing everything that they can to stifle the industry. So I've been busy for the last few months on that front. I invented this machine, and we're going to be investing in a lot of stuff going on. But now that I'm back here, that's what took me away from my AI clip machine. I created this unbelievable process, an AI, to basically inventory my entire content. It's going to take a lot of work to upload everything, but then when it's done, I got content with like everyone important under the sun. And these clips are just going to blow up. Boom, bada boom, 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 boom. And the system weaves episodes into each other. So let's say I type out a speech and I'm like, hello, my name is Adam King and I'm an inventor and podcast host. It'll mine every single episode I ever did and piece when I say, hello, that episode. I am this episode. Adam King, that episode. And it creates like this one long sequence of events and I invented this system. It's a new invention that I have. I haven't even deployed it yet. All content creators are welcome to contact me about it if they want to get with it, because it could absolutely revolutionize your content if you have like 1,000 hours worth of content or something like that. If you got like less than 100 hours worth of content, whatever. But this is for like mega content creators that like want to archive their entire system, and they want to like put their entire everything under one format that can automatically clip and piece together anything that they've ever said on the internet at any time in real time. While and in truth, while if something goes trending on Twitter or any social media, you could literally type in and it creates like one of those arc bubbles of words, when it like will count how many times I said any word in any podcast. So you said the word Donald Trump X amount of times in all your podcasts. And it will like, fish for clips. It mines clips for you. It's like this whole automated AI system that like will mine clips for you from your content and piece them together. So I just been waiting to unload this system. I've had no time. If you want to volunteer for the show and just like sit there and upload clips, I'm totally down. We have volunteers, and we're always taking more, but it is a mission to sit there and upload and this. It takes days of like dedication, but that's coming. And when it comes, the internet will be flooded with me and all this content. And until then, I'm just putting on bricks, brick by brick, of content after content after content. Dom is one of those bricks. Last week was Owen Benjamin and the Adam Green debate. That's a brick. The Nick Fuentes debates, bricks. Dan Bilzerian, bricks. David Duke, bricks. Nick Fuentes, bricks. Lucas Gage, bricks. I got so many bricks. Dinesh D'Souza, the positive ones, bricks. You know, Seth Dillon, bricks. Josh Hammer, bricks. Shabbos Kestenbaum, bricks. I got so many bricks with people. Tomorrow I got Bree Dale. We're talking all about the Catholic Church, going so deep into all sorts of things with the Catholic Church. Those are huge bricks. Those are stones, bro. Those aren't bricks. Those are stones. Building castles, and we're still in the build phase. But those are my architect's tools to be fountainheady, like Ayn Rand. Since I'm in this book, those are the architect's tools, and I'm going to piece this together. So God, we have so much content, even from before with all the Ben Stein stuff and Roger Stone and all that stuff. There's so much content, endless content, endless content, and we're putting it forward every single week here at the Adam King Show on Awesome Jew. Subscribe to Awesome Jew. Subscribe to the Rumble. Subscribe to the YouTube. We stream the YouTube now, but the YouTube doesn't really dominate. You know what I'm saying? The YouTube could be a lot better. We got to get the YouTube higher. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And then Wednesday we got Karis Ray. And the week after, I think I got Neeson Black and possibly Ashira Solomon and all sorts of good people coming down the pipe. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got more time now that Pesach is over. I'm focused. I'm in it to win it for America, for Epic Fury. We're taking Epic Fury all the way. We're going to go back to Iran, folks. Saudi Arabia offered us $1 billion. I'm going to read you this. I'm sorry, $100 billion to pay for the war effort. I just want to read you guys this before I yeah. Okay. I guess my mic was low for the podcast, but we'll amp it up in the clips. This is why I say call me before the show, folks. But anyways, we had fun, and we're going to continue the show every single time here on Awesome Jew. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.